Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the new generation of the eDiscovery channel. Once again, from Post Jazz Fest, New Orleans, Louisiana. Tom O'Connor, as always, there with Rocky Messing of Alterny. And we are very, very pleased to have with us today Seamus O'Connor, who is a hosted services specialist at Platinum Intelligent Data Solutions out of Dallas. Seamus, hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time. Rocky's going to jump right into these questions because, as always, he's a busy, busy guy. Yes.
Very busy, very busy.
Work, 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 work.
Work, work, work. Awesome, Seamus. Good to see you again.
You too.
Um, we've got just a couple of quick questions for you. Let's start with an easy one. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
Sure. So my name's Seamus O'Connor. I'm 36 years old. I live in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I've been doing eDiscovery for about the past 5 years now, um, mostly on the hosted side, so database support, stuff like that. The company I work for is out of Dallas. We also do have a print shop, so we kind of handle everything through collection to trial.
Cool. Seamus, throughout this, I'm going to throw in some random getting to know you questions as well. So let's start off with a nice easy one. What's your go-to movie? Like that movie that when it's on, you always will watch it.
Pretty classic, The Wizard of Oz, I would say.
Oh,
Oh,
that is a classic.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I like it. With Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon playing in the
You know,
background.
if I'm in the right mood, yeah, sure.
You got it. Awesome, awesome. I think I might know how this question's going to go, but tell us a little bit about how you actually got into the industry.
Yeah, so obviously you can tell I share a last name with Tom here. He's my father. So I was introduced to the e-discovery world pretty early on to just some, basic helping him out with cases when he had stuff when I was real young. Then when I graduated college, I took a job at a third party vendor, and so that was kind of my official introduction into the office world and whatnot.
Cool.
My mom was in the industry as well, so got introduced to a lot of different people through both of them.
Yep, they are definitely good people to first of all to know, or Gail was a great person to know.
Yeah.
But also in terms of if you're going to get introduced to people in the industry, then it's a good path because they're good people. I mean
Oh, I
Tom,
hear
yeah, whatever.
you.
But Gail was. Um, okay. Let's ask this. What's your favorite genre of music?
Um, I guess I like hip hop a lot. Kind of, kind of mostly
Okay,
rap, I suppose, but I like a lot of classic rock too.
very cool. And just because it's and I'm kind of hoping that I get a different answer than what I'm expecting. Beatles or Stones?
Oh, please.
Well, my first CD ever was the Magical Mystery Tour, so I'll go Beatles.
Yes. Sorry. I look at that look of disappointment on your dad's face.
I know, right?
Your children just never come through.
Um, okay. Today, the buzzword obviously everywhere is AI, AI, AI. Everyone's always talking about, AI and how it's being used within the industry. But we want to know a little bit about in your day-to-day work. Where do you find yourself going to AI and how do you find yourself using it? So less so from the product side, from an e-discovery standpoint necessarily, unless that is how you're using it. But do you find that you're utilizing and relying on AI in different ways?
Yeah, mostly through product, not so much on like a personal level to assist with daily tasks in that sense, but we have a couple products even internal that utilize our own AI systems for different client products. So that and then just the built-in stuff, whether it's relativity or reveal, clients are getting used to utilizing those tools more. So kind of mainly just showing the client what can be done because a
Yep.
lot of people still just are used to the old school search and
The,
click.
the classic. Yes, classic methodology. What do you like to do outside of work? What are your hobbies?
Skateboarding mostly. As I get older, I've fallen off a little bit because injuries tend to keep up longer than they used to. But yeah, skateboarding is a big part of my life. Sports, just love watching football, basketball. So
Saints fan?
big Saints fan. Grew
Yep.
up in Seattle, so still Seahawks fan as well. But yeah.
Okay. And Kraken or you
Not,
never?
not, never really watched hockey much. No, it was baseball, basketball, now football. Those are the big three for
Okay,
me.
cool. One day, New Orleans will get a hockey team that'll, not go on ice because I don't think is ice allowed in New Orleans? Like,
We after the blizzard, I don't think so. I don't think
No,
for the last 10 years.
Um, okay, so now that you've been in the industry for a little bit, when you look out at like, okay, the next 5, 10 years, hopefully that you're still working in the industry, you're making your way up. What excites you? What do you see from the future of the industry that you're like, this is going to be awesome?
Well, like you said, AI, I think just seeing how the tools evolve, how the industry standards are going to just keep having to change to keep up with the technology. So it's just interesting to see, and hear, what how much it's changed. I'm obviously a little newer into the industry than like my dad, for instance, who's seen so much. And so I just hear that a lot. It's just like, man, it's just changed so much in just the past 5 years, 10 years. So, like you said, it will be interesting to just see what we're doing next.
Yeah. And yeah, there's definitely no doubt about the pace of change over the last 2, 3 years. I think totally outstrips what happened in the last 10 years. So
Right, right.
it's definitely that's definitely going to be interesting. Tom, I'm going to open this up to you to say any questions that you've always wondered and you wanted to ask Seamus. This is your opportunity to dig in deep. Come on.
I won't even come close to embarrassing him with something.
Come on.
Not going to happen. But I do have two work-related questions that are kind of
Okay.
related. One of them you just touched on, Seamus. You said the clients are getting used to the tools, and that's how you work with them. I mean, have you seen an improvement over the last several years? Are the clients getting more tech savvy? You know, that's always the hardest part of our job is acting as an interpreter between the technology and the lawyers. And
Yeah,
sometimes, yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
I have seen, improvement. It obviously it's a case by case basis. You're still going to deal with some old school people who just, don't want to learn how to use a computer, period. But yeah,
Mouse? What's a mouse? What?
exactly. But I do think, yes, I've noticed that even with the paralegals kind of taking on different roles than what used to be the classical,
Uh-huh.
term or sense. So yes, I believe I have.
Cool. The other question is, so you work behind the scenes, right? And you and the people who do what you do are really the unsung heroes in my mind of our profession because you're doing the heavy lifting. You're working with the databases. You're actually, the attorney sits there and says, "I need a report on the Acme Fireworks Company, sorted by." Two users from 10 years ago and only with PDFs in them. You're the one who has to translate. You have to load it up. You have to help. Then you have to try to tell someone who calls in and says, "I don't know how to do this. Where's the escape key again?" Um, um, does that get frustrating? Or then the other side of that, of course, is you see guys like me out there talking about it all the time. Like we get all the glory. Sort of like being an offensive lineman on a football team. You're doing all the work, and nothing happens unless you do your job. But we're the
When you mess
quarterbacks
up.
going out there posing for the pictures. Like, yeah, we're cool. um, does that get frustrating, or do you like being behind the scenes?
No, I don't, anything can get frustrating at work at any time, I suppose, but that's just part of the job. And I do enjoy being behind the scenes. Some people are better at client facing and getting in front of the camera and talking about it and stuff.
You're saying that some of us are better at bullshit than others, is what you're
I didn't say that. Your words, not mine.
saying.
No, no, I just, people have different skills and that happens to be the one that I'm utilizing right now is helping people, bridge the gap. But to touch on your last question, I think that it's getting less and less explanation needed for some of these people as they get more tech savvy and as the technology improves and gets more user friendly. There's less of that asking us to set up a queue and how to, we need PDFs of this. They know not how to do it sometimes. So
Sometimes.
sometimes.
I've got one last question.
Okay.
Besides excluding your mom and dad, because I don't want to even have them, possibly disappointed from it. So excluding them, anyone in the industry who you've considered to be a real mentor, and how have they helped you in your development?
Yeah, I'd have to say Joy Murao for sure. She's out of California, and I worked with her for a few years before I took on this role at Platinum. And she was definitely a huge mentor and just really helped introduce me to the industry and just taught me a lot of the ins and outs of stuff that I didn't know. And
Yeah,
yeah,
Joy is awesome.
yeah, she is. Easy answer there.
Yeah.
Yep, good,
Yeah.
awesome. Cool. Tom, anything else, or should we close it
Yeah.
out?
No, yeah, real quick, just real quick.
Mhm.
Do you see yourself doing this in 10 years? Does it still engage you? Is this the sort of thing you like doing and see yourself doing?
Yeah, I mean the guy above me, he's been doing it for 10 years, and I feel like, there's always more stuff to learn. And that he seems like he knows so much more than me, and yet, sometimes he'll ask me a question that he didn't know. So it's yeah, I don't think there's any lack of room to
Things to
improve
learn.
or to
Yeah.
develop in this industry.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Excellent.
can tell you, Rocky, as an observation, in fact, I told Joy this once when Seamus first started working with her. Professional jealousy creeped up. Seamus saw the reveal database before I ever did because they were working on it with the client. And he knows sometimes I get stuck in relativity and I'll be knocking on his door. Can you come look at this? What did I do here? Or where, sometimes it's just confusing interfaces. If you're using 10
Right.
different products, you have to
And jump
remember,
in
oh, where
between
did
them.
they hide that thing? And
Mhm.
So you're saying it's not just an age thing.
well, I'm saying age may have,
Uh,
same as we'll walk right in
Something.
and go, it's right there. See the thing that says AP? That's, I mean, but that's just so helpful to
Yeah.
have people like Seamus. And for me, it's just helpful that he lives right next door and I can call on him and he can come in and solve my problem quickly. I just know how that is in our business to have somebody who
Yep.
understands the interfaces and can, um, and can help you with it. And it's something that I saw Seamus when he was in high school was actually he worked for the city of Bellevue, Washington, and in their skate park and was teaching. And I observed him at a very early age being a really good teacher, being patient, being clear.
And I don't know if the kids would have agreed.
Well, certainly patience not one of my virtues, but things that make you a great teacher, Seamus, I think come into play in your business because the attorneys, of course, are like me, very impatient. Um, and you have that
So what you're
ability
saying
to
is
just,
everyone needs to get themselves a Seamus.
that's right. There you go.
Got it. Okay.
Everyone needs a Seamus. So,
Well,
Seamus,
awesome.
thanks so much for taking time out of your schedule. I know, like Rocky and I, you work remotely, so your work day is about to begin, and we appreciate the time and the insight. And
Yeah,
uh,
cool.
I owe you a poor boy at Liuz's.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right. Hey, thanks
Thanks,
everybody.
Seamus.
Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time in the new generation of the eDiscovery channel.